Does the camera lie? Now, looking at this picture, which was taken half a century ago, you'd think this is just a lovely, normal, heterosexual couple. That is Ruth, and that is Keith. That's me. I was looking at it the other day and I thought, don't we make a really lovely couple? And thinking, I could have been heterosexual, couldn't I? I could have actually been normal. Think of that, and think of what I would have gained back in the 1970s. I would have gained respectability. I would have gained acceptance. I might have gained children. I might have gained grandchildren, and by now possibly great-grandchildren. I would have been able to perhaps have a house and living in a nice salubrious area with other people like myself. I wouldn't be in an area where I would stand out in any way. I would fit in. I don't think I've ever fitted in, and I don't think I'd know how to. But what would be the advantages? Well, certainly I would have not worked for Gay News. Why would I have worked for the world's leading newspaper for homosexuals when I was totally happy in my little heterosexual world? I don't think I would have met the interesting, exciting, challenging, and yes, diverse group of people, male and female, that I've met in the last 50 years of my life, part of what we call the gay community, now the queer community. Wonderful. I don't think my mind would have been so broad as it has to be, because we're in a constantly changing environment where we're constantly having to accept new ideas about sexuality and individuality and identity and all those things. I don't think I would have been tested in the way that I have been tested as a totally gay man living in the 21st century and also indulging in the past of the 60s, 70s, 80s and 90s. And yes, I survived. Relationships, well, I've had a few and they have been totally wonderful. I have relationships now which I value enormously. And yes, they do endure through sickness and health, for richer, for poorer. They're not actually marriage vows in the accepted sense, but they're my marriage vows because they're made for the person that I am and the person that I'm with. I've been watching The Crown recently, that Netflix series, the last couple of episodes, and it dealt with the Queen's marriage, her 70-year marriage to the Duke of Edinburgh, Prince Philip. And there's one moment where Prince Philip talks about marriage and he says there's one thing that happens from the moment you get married, and that is that both parties go in different directions. But you've always got the base to come back to, haven't you? You've always got that platform, whether it's heterosexual, homosexual, bisexual, polyamorous or whatever. You've got the base, you've got the platform. So you can go in different directions, physically, mentally, spiritually, all those places. So if I'd remained heterosexual, possibly I would have had a long, enduring marriage to a woman. Possibly I would have been a pater familias, I would have been known as Dad. No one has ever called me Dad. No one's ever called me Daddy. No one's ever called me Uncle either. I wouldn't have had that lovely moment when a child looks at me as though I'm the most important person in the world. That's never happened to me. I've never had a dog either. I'm sure that happens to dog owners too. But I didn't go that way. I could have, perhaps, but I didn't want to. In those days, it wasn't so easy to be gay, homosexual, queer, but it is now, and I'm reaping all the benefits of a life well lived, long lived, with strong relationships in a community where I can be friendly with anyone from any sexual minority or majority that I want to be. And going to a recent funeral of a lesbian friend of mine who'd been in a partnership with her girlfriend, later wife, for 20 years, it was truly beautiful to see the lesbian community come together in one place to look after someone who had got sick over the last few years. So marriage, partnership, love, it's all the same. There is no difference at all I could have been dad, I could have been granddad, but I'm not. I'm just Keith. I'm just me, and I love it.